We are in Mallorca here in December training camp, getting ready for the 2024 season. We start training tomorrow.
The whole team are here, all 28 riders and plus most of the staff. And it's the start of the new season. Yeah, happy to be here.
We've been coming to Mallorca with Pinarello since 2010, and this year we're excited to be developing a new frame, a new bike.
Per fare una Dogma servono competenza, talento, idee, esperienza e tecnologia, atleti capaci di portarla al limite e me.
I've heard some rumors about a new Pinarello F, but that's all I know.
Abbiamo portato agli atleti già nel primo ritiro invernale il primo telaio. C'è sempre reciproca aspettativa da parte loro di trovare una bici migliorata ulteriormente, noi di vedere il loro sorriso, e questo accade sempre.
Riuscite ogni volta a stupire, migliorare, portare avanti qualcosa di veramente apprezzato anche per noi, ecco.
Io ascolto gli atleti tutto l'anno, mi piace ascoltarli, ognuno ha il suo modo di correre, il suo modo di interpretare la bici, ognuno ha esigenze sempre diverse. Cambiano il modo di pedalare, di affrontare le corse e di riflesso cambia la bici. Si deve evolvere con loro, è inevitabile. Siamo i più veloci del mondo, da sempre. Quando decidiamo di scendere in pista lo facciamo per vincere. Questo si traduce poi in dati, informazioni, intuizioni che riportiamo su Dogma. Il primo step sono i feedback ricevuti durante l'anno dai nostri gruppi sportivi, in primis il team Ineos, che ci mette a disposizione la sua grande competenza.
We truly understand the value that data can bring. We know what a rider wants, what comfort do they feel they need, how much traction do they need out of corners, where does the bike feel good, where does the bike feel it could have more grip, could have more confidence during turning. And from that, we can then have a much more engaged conversation on where we need to improve the bike.
Data, a lot of data. Constantly searching for solutions, improvements, trying to do better than our previous best. We are engineers, but also extremely passionate cyclists.
So yes, we're involving data scientists, we're involving aerodynamicists, we're involving engineers, but equally we're involving riders, because it's the riders' human feedback that ultimately is going to determine whether or not that design has translated the data into something that's rideable and usable on real roads.
Se siente, como digo, esa colaboración. Creo que mejoraron mucho en las cosas y en el feedback que los corredores daban.
You know, the stiffness of the bike, how it feels, the aero, how it feels in corners, how it feels when you're going uphill, downhill. Yeah, as each evolution of the bike, so to speak, comes out, it's nice to feel a small part of that as well.
You're giving feedback to a company and they are listening to you, and it's like you're building your dream bike.
These days, it's customary to measure the quality of a frame by simply putting it on the scale. We disagree. The bike is so much more. Its handling at speed, aerodynamic efficiency, its balance, it is reliable braking, responsiveness, the ability to sprint, and first of all, safety.
A bike that you can really trust, a bike that you can rely on and bond with if you like. I expect the same this time. We're in Denia, down in Spain. Today I've ridden the new Pinarello for the first time. You definitely feel that it's stiffer, which is a big thing for me. I like riding out the saddle. It also feels more confident, inspiring in the descents.
Yeah, I'm quite excited. You know, Olympic year, we are able to test those bikes quite early. I think we are the first ones to do that, and it's like, you know, finding the Christmas present before Santa gave it to you.
It feels really stable and confident. Feels a little bit different in height, so if we check the measurements a little bit. I'm really happy, to be honest. It's nice. It's nice to get pleasantly surprised every time we get a new bike from Pinarello.
A Dogma is always different. It's unique, a step ahead of everything else. A Dogma is bellissimo. We want it to be hypnotic. It should be something you can take your eyes off. We like to have sensual lines, but also decisive. Sleek, sharp, projected forward, as if moving at speed even when stationary, always racing to victory. We delve into different design philosophy to let our minds become a little bit contaminated by strange new ideas, because that's our job. We are driven by change. With the new Dogma, we are introducing Luxter, a paint created with different pigments in multi-layered flakes, which give it the ability to change color when viewed from different angles. It's a paint that requires a lot of skill to work with, but then that's another Pinarello trait that sets us apart from the competition.
We've been reshaping the thickness of the down tube by reducing it to improve the front aerodynamic performance of the bike. We've been also designing a new bottom bracket box, which is much bigger than its previous version. This increased by a lot the lateral stiffness of the bike. Moreover, a new shape of the bottom bracket box, we called it the Aero Kill bottom bracket, which has been obtained by twisting 3.5 degrees the down tube that creates this new keel shape that increases the aerodynamic performance of the bike. Our unique head tube nose shape, which has been introduced in 2014 with the Dogma F8, has now been improved by reducing its frontal width by 8 mm. This improved the frontal aero penetration of the bike. To allow for the reduction of the thickness of the head tube, we had to completely redesign the fork steering tube and the headset. As you can see, the new steering tube of the fork is not anymore rounded, it has a new elliptical shape that allowed us to move the cable routing from the side to the front of the fork. To do that, we also had to redesign the headset, which, as you can see, has an internal cable routing on the front rather than on the sides. One additional design feature is the closure of the through axle hole on the fork. The fork is closed on this side, that improves the aerodynamic performance of the bike as well. Same design solution also on the frame. As you can see, the dropout is completely integrated, so we removed both the through axle hole and the bolt to connect the through axles. We have also been changing the rake of the fork, slimmer and with a wider tire clearance up to 30 mm to improve the stability of the bike and the comfort on technical terrain, but also we have been changing the rake to 47 mm. This improves the handling and the speed on the most technical descents. Our seat post clamp has been reduced in size and fully integrated inside the frame seat tube. This new solution reduces the weight, improves the design and increases the cleanliness of the system by limiting the amount of dust and sweat that can access the clamp. The new Talon Fast is lighter, faster and more aero, designed with the natural twisted lever position to allow our riders to find a more aero position on the bike. As always, all of our frames are asymmetric, so we can balance the higher forces coming from the chain side.
The bike design industry is almost reaching a plateau when it comes to bike development, and that's why new methodologies are so important in order to improve basically the new designs. The big change has happened during the World Hour Record, where we developed the new Polide for Filippo, where for the first time we implemented cloud methodologies, so cloud computing, coupled with optimizations and machine learning. And these methodologies were now applied also to the new design for the new Dogma. So the way the methodology has changed in the way the bikes are designed now.
Se il bolide è la bici più veloce del mondo, Dogma è tutto ciò che siamo noi di Pinarello. Rappresenta il ciclismo nella sua totalità, salita, discesa, velocità, l'eccellenza, lo straordinario, la nostra voglia di superare.
E il fatto della 360, la bici all around, che è un po' una prerogativa della nostra azienda, cercare di trovare il giusto compromesso.
Una bicicletta che va bene ovunque, no?
Certo.
Una bici un po' 360. Per me nella pianura, quando devo esprimere tutti i miei watt, in salita per G o Egan, in discesa con Tom. Con una bici sola riesci a coprire tanti settori.
Bike has to be aerodynamic, it has to be beautiful, it has to be stiff, it has to be rideable, and this is where a brand like Pinarello is extremely skilled at. They are extremely good at knowing what is going to work, how the rider is going to feel the bike, basically designing a better bike.
It's entirely possible to create an extreme performance bike. But if you're going to win the Tour, you need a bike that is going to be able to be adaptable, it's flexible, and it's balanced in its design. So it has to be able to deal with the extremes of an environment like the Tour de France.
Un tour se gana obviamente subiendo, un tour se gana bajando, un tour se gana en el plan. Necesitamos obviamente tener una bicicleta que sea completa, ¿no?
A bike that's light, that's stiff, agile.
The Dogma I find is something which always ticks all those boxes.
The Ineos Grenadier Performance Team measured all 2022 Tour de France stage data from Geraint Thomas. The average energy used, balanced with the potential savings in different situations, proved that a small improvement in CDA and a decrease in rolling resistance is more valuable than saving a lot of weight. In a Grand Tour, as on your daily ride, it's not just an uphill time trial. It's always a mix of flat, climbing, descent. This is why, when it came to designing the new Dogma, we focused not only in saving weight, and yes, the new bike is 108 grams lighter than its predecessor, but we especially focused on marginal gains, saving 0.2% on the CDA of the complete bike.
I've been racing on Pinarellos for 15 years now, and whenever there's a new model, the difference is minor, but sport is constantly moving forward and developing. 10 years ago, it's completely different to now, and it's the same with the bikes. You see positions and bikes 10 years ago, it looks ancient. When you're racing on them and spending 30 hours a week on them, you can, you feel the minor changes, but they make a huge difference.
En el ciclismo profesional las carreras están ganando por pequeños detalles, por las ganancias marginales.
E la differenza la fanno i dettagli.
0,5 che è moltiplicato
Quel famoso 0, che moltiplicato per tante volte ci fa la differenza, no?
The word iconic is used a lot in marketing. But when it comes to the Dogma, I think it's appropriate. The Dogma is an iconic road bike, the most coveted, the most admired, and the reference point for everyone.
You always kind of think, well, it's kind of reached the limit now, it's not going to get better, and then the new bike comes and it's even better again. So
every time they get better, they get stiffer, faster, lighter. It's also difficult
to make a bike like this, and that's something else that makes it impressive.
You can sit on the start line, you can finish the bike race and you can go, I can still be better, this can still be better, we can still continue to improve, and that's why that process never stops.
That willingness to change really and evolve with the times and keep pushing forward and trying new things, and that's what keeps you at the top.